Warning: this article contains spoilers for House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is living up to its name so far by delivering plenty of the titular creatures, including Vhagar in episodes 6 and 7, throwing into question how large Vhagar is compared to other dragons from the Game of Thrones universe. Vhagar was introduced initially as the dragon of Lena Valerion, Daemon Targaryen's wife, before her untimely death at the hands of Vhagar, though by her own command, at the end of episode 6. House of the Dragon episode 7 then saw Vhagar claimed by a new writer, Aemon Targaryen, son of Viserys and Alicent. One thing that House of the Dragon has made clear thus far is the sheer size and scale of Vhagar in comparison to the other dragons in the show. From the scenes in episode 6 in which Lena rode her to Vhagar's first flight with Aemon, her size is unmatched by the other dragons seen so far. With that being said, it is interesting to compare Vhagar's size to some other dragons from the Thrones universe that will not be seen on House of the Dragon. How big is Vhagar compared to Balerion? Vhagar is one of the 3 dragons used by Aegon the Conqueror and his sisters to conquer the 7 kingdoms, with the other 2 being Meraxes and Balerion. Balerion, nicknamed the Black Dread, was the mount of Aegon himself and is widely known as the largest dragon to have ever lived. While never being seen on screen in all his glory, there are hints from both shows and descriptions from George R. R. Martin's various books that attest to this. Vhagar is widely regarded as being the closest dragon to have ever matched Balerion's size, despite still not being as big as the Black Dread. During the time of House of the Dragon, Vhagar is thought to be the largest dragon in the world, given Balerion's death around 7 years before the events of the series, which is touched upon with the Game of Thrones prequel show itself. How big is Vhagar compared to Drogon? Arguably the most famous dragon in the Game of Thrones franchise is Drogon, the mount of Daenerys Targaryen throughout the series. While Drogon was not hatched until over 150 years after House of the Dragon's place on the timeline, it is still interesting to compare his size with Vhagar's. While Drogon is known to be big for his young age, dwarfing both his siblings Viserion and Rhaegal, he is still nothing in comparison to Vhagar. Drogon, when last seen in Game of Thrones, was slightly smaller than Daemon Caraxes from House of the Dragon, who is less than half the size of Vhagar. This means that Vhagar is much bigger than Drogon, despite the latter being a large size for that age. This is evident by Drogon's head being around the same size as Jon Snow in Season 8, compared to Vhagar completely dwarfing the likes of Aemond and Lena in House of the Dragon. Can any of HOTD's dragons match Vhagar? While none of the dragons currently in House of the Dragon match Vhagar, it is possible that some introduced in future seasons in the Dance of Dragons, the Targaryen Civil War, could come close. One of these is Vermithor, a dragon who was the mount of King Jaehaerys, Viserys' grandfather. While Vermithor currently has no rider and has not been seen in House of the Dragon, the show is building to the Dance of Dragons, in which Vermithor will be ridden by a blacksmith's bastard named Hugh the Hammer. While other dragons from Fire and Blood, like Sheepstealer and Cannibal, could come close to Vhagar in terms of size, it is unclear whether they will feature in House of the Dragon. With that being said, the show is slowly building up to a large conflict that involves many dragons and their riders, where audiences will get to see Vhagar's sheer size in action. New episodes on House of the Dragon release Sundays on HBO and HBO Max. Want more House of the Dragon articles? Check out our essential content below. Complete House of the Dragon Guide. All your questions answered. Where was House of the Dragon filmed? All real-life Westeros locations. House of the Dragon timeline confirmed and explained. House of the Dragon. Every major family missing from Game of Thrones.